You know, even though I don't want to smoke cigarettes, that looks good, especially like right now, like what you just did.
Right?
The clouds, because of the clouds. It's like
fuck it, dude. Man, I mean, if shit is smoking, dude, that's like shit. We got fucking chemtrails, we got fucking fires, we got fucking riots, we got it all, dude. So might as well smoke.
I know. My homeboy said he wants to get a 6 deuce with gold Dayton's.
Do they even still make Dayton's?
Not the original 3-prong knockoffs. I haven't seen those anywhere. You have to buy them. I haven't seen them
either.
You probably got to buy them on the internet or something.
Because those are like 13-inch rims, dude.
Yep.
Like exactly. 13-inch rims.
13-inch rims. Donuts.
It's this motherfucking
13-inch donuts.
13-inch donuts. These motherfuckers.
I just hold my laptop. Yeah. What you got up for the day?
Man, actually, I'm gonna go to Pasadena, dude. There's this place called Audio Element, and they basically they sell like hi-fi equipment. Like I don't know if I'd say high end, but like medium end. Like I don't know. Like probably their most expensive amplifier costs like $4,000, $5,000.
That's not high end.
That's not high end.
Damn.
That's high end, but it's not like high end. High end is like $15,000.
Damn.
So I'm trying to go in there, dude, and see, because I want a new amplifier, dude. So I want to go in there and see what they have. Right. Because they have like listening rooms. So I just want to hear if does it sound like $5,000 or is it just a ripoff, dude?
Will you be able to tell the difference?
Yeah, I'll be able to tell. I'll be able to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going there.
I'm supposed to be I'm going to help this friend of mine, this girl. She's turning 40, I think, or 41 or 42. And she wants to do a photo shoot. So I'm going to go take some pictures of her.
A 40-year-old in a photo shoot?
Yeah.
It's an oxymoron. It's like an oxymoron. I know it's not using the word right, but that's like an oxymoron. 40-year-old photo shoot?
40-year-old glamour shoot.
20 years too late.
40-year-old woman glamour shoot. That's 20 years too late.
40-year-old glamour shots. Make sure your camera has a lot of filters on there.
I'm going to drop that shit in Photoshop.
It's like that filter where, remember that filter you showed me that it had like, can make you look old?
Oh, yeah.
Like it'll like age you? She needs the one in reverse. She needs the opposite of that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Actually, for her age, she looks pretty good. She does.
She's still pretty?
She's still pretty. She's still got, and then she still has her shape and stuff, you know.
Really?
She's got 80% of it, 85% of it still.
My guess is she's some kind of like emotional vampire. Then she's probably been sucking the life out of some other poor dude.
That's like that.
I got a bunch of victims like sucking the life out of them,
taking their spinal fluid and shit.
Yeah, dude. Getting that super bait. Speaking of that, dude, you heard about that? Have you heard about that? You know how they say like the liberals or the Democrats, some of the higher up Democrats, like basically do like baby sacrifice
or children endorphins or something like that.
Yeah, they call it androchloroquine. Something starts with an A, dude. Mm-hmm. She probably got like fucking vials of that shit in her closet. Talking about photo shoot.
You know, maybe that's the true history behind vampires.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. A bunch of fucking parasites, man. I don't know, dude.
Suck the lifeblood out of you. But people do that because they don't have their own source. That's why people do shit like try to start fights, or create something out of nothing, or like just like you maybe just like fuck your vibe up, kill your,
because
Lamar.
They're feeding on your energy, dude.
Yeah, I wonder what that looks like.
People's energy.
What if you could scientifically record it? You know what I mean? That would be
right.
Dope. Yeah,
like if you could actually see it. That's Freddie Hubbard. I'm playing Freddie Hubbard, Red Clay. It's like a this dude is like a dude that was living in LA when he died. He died a few years ago. He was living in Inglewood, but this dude is like he's up there with the greatest. Like like people say Miles. People know Miles Davis, so they say people always refer to him. But he's just like he's in that pack, dude.
Okay, but he just didn't get very popular.
He got everybody knows him that like knows jazz, but if you don't know jazz, you don't know him. But even if you don't know jazz, everybody knows Miles Davis. You see what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's right.
Like if somebody said, "Oh, who do you like how they asked Kamala Harris, who's your favorite hip hop? Who's your favorite rapper?" She's gonna say Tupac because she doesn't know anybody else, but everybody knows Tupac.
Right.
Oh, Tupac, motherfucker! Tupac was one of the greatest, but there's a million other dudes that can rap, dude. The only person you know is Tupac.
Yeah,
that's like
right.
me saying I only know Elvis, dude. That's some bullshit.
Right. Right. Who's your best pop singer? Michael Jackson.
Right. That's telling me you don't know any. You're just a fucking. You're just like you're a sheep, dude. You're a sheeple. You don't know shit. But yeah, dude. So yeah, today I'm not really doing anything. That's if I don't get too lazy and not go to that place. But I want to go, dude. I want to see what they have, see what it sounds like.
Right. Where is it? Hollywood?
No, Pasadena. Someplace in Pasadena.
Right. Yeah.
So shit, man. What's really going on, dude?
I'm starting to get my connection back. It's growing. It's growing because I'm more and more interested.
Like the ethereal, like on your vibrations, like on that level.
Yeah, on that level. Yeah, it's getting louder. The vibration's getting stronger. I can feel it. I can tell because yesterday, and not just yesterday, but I realized more. Like, damn, I haven't been aware of myself like since 2 hours ago. Like yesterday at one point, I don't remember what point it was at, but I thought, damn, it's been about 2 or 3 hours since I created that space, like I was all in my thoughts.
Right.
Which is not, I'm not judging or punishing myself, just being aware of it. And that's happening more. Whereas before it would be like fucking months, weeks.
Man, speaking of that, like on your vibration level, man, out of nowhere, every once in a while, one of my associates from work, this dude that used to work like in the cubicle over from me, hits me up, right? So this dude hit me up a few hours ago, or maybe not even a few hours, a few minutes ago. And but this dude is like, this dude was trying to get me to join the Freemasons, right?
When? Recently?
Man, maybe a year and a half ago, he was trying to say, man, come down to the lodge or whatever, like all that, like pushing me in that direction.
Uh-huh.
So then I started like, what the fuck is this Freemason shit? And like, what even like, what's the background on it? Right. So I started doing some research and all that. Man, that shit, I'm not going to say too much about it, but something about it just struck me in the wrong way, dude. Every once yeah.
No, go ahead.
But so like, when I'm trying to feel real calm and at peace, then something happens. I'm like, that made me think of all the stuff that I had researched about that organization, and this dude was trying to get me to join.
Right.
But that shit seemed sideways, dude. So that kind of like I had to shake that off, dude. Every once in a while, that fool hit me up, and I got to shake that shit off.
It's like I don't know what the devil's calling you.
That is, dude.
Well, you know what? I did a lot of
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying.
I did a lot of research and like learning, and I even read one of their books. Actually, somebody gave it to me. They weren't supposed to, but when you've joined, they give you this book. It's a blue book, and I read the book, and It's a story. It's a story, and you're supposed to read between the lines. Basically, it's a test to get to or pass the third degree, because that's like the initiation. And it's like Tenderfoots of the Boy Scouts or something. And basically, after you read this book, they talk to you. And I went to the Masonic Lodge in Culver City, this old ass building, a Masonic building, originally built by Masons for a Masonic Lodge. It's in Culver City. It's still there, probably.
Okay.
And I met with this dude, and we went upstairs into this like empty room, and he was like. He was there. He was strange, and he was asking me about like basic questions, like why do you want to join? And but I remember the conversation led into. Well, I'm digressing. Let me finish with the book first. So the book was about a story about basically the theme was that they, which are the Masons, are behind everything that happened in this story. Like situations that occurred, the people or persons behind it was unseen. But as you read through the book, you discovered reading between the lines that was the case. And so that was just the book, but then I dove deep into the Masonic thing itself and the symbols and all that. And the symbols are based on sacred geometry, which is basically ancient Egyptian, or some people may say Atlantean. And
all right.
So basically what it is, or what I, in my opinion, what I saw is that you can get to the source. Let's just say the source is electricity. So you can use electricity to power some clippers and cut somebody's hair and make them look good. Or you can use the electricity to put somebody on the electric chair and kill them. So the power itself is neutral in that aspect, in that way. And I never really was clear on what the Masons' intentions were with that power. Now, it's always been like, looking at the people who are Masons, like in America and in American history, not all of them, but a lot of them, they didn't do really good things.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, their plans were pretty diabolical.
It's like world domination or some crazy shit, dude. I don't know.
Well, look at the dollar bill, right? And so you got those people, Masonic, and basically Masonic. What the Masonic thing is basically all about. They use the same force. They use the same force, and the force is the force, And but they manipulate it temporarily. Because it's only temporary. Can you do something like that? It's always only temporary because the ultimate power of the force, the ultimate result of the power of the force is some type of love. But they know that there's space and time where that energy is contracted into matter. So it slows down and it's temporary. Like our bodies will wither away. So we're temporary, but we still have the power. So in that way, they know how to manipulate matter. And they do a lot of magic with a K. And
magic with a K?
Magic with a K. It's spelled with
all
a
right.
K. So I learned about that. And, I don't know all about it. And I'm probably, not correct on 100% of it, but that's what I got out of it. And, I realized that the Masons really, even a 33rd degree Mason, which I knew one, I met him at the barber shop. Their stuff, the Mason stuff is baby food as far as information about the source, God, energy, the universe, whatever you want to call it. What they know and do and teach is baby food. It's way down there. See, and then I learned this from someone else. See, their top level is 32, 33 degree, right? But in physics and in the universe and the nature, we have 360 degrees. You know what I'm saying? They're blacking a whole lot. They're only 33 degrees. The real is 360 degrees. And that 360 degree was taught in Africa. It never made its way out. It was taught in all up and down Africa, the 360 degrees. That's where I learned about 360 and how the Masons only 32, 33 degrees.
But the Africans, you mean like those like the Dogons or that tribe or something different? You heard of that Dogon tribe in Africa?
Tell me about that.
It's like a tribe that basically these dudes say they're an old tribe and they're basically like, I don't know if I would say they're like astronomers, but they know about all things that in that sphere. And they basically say, they point to a star. I think it's Cyrus or Sirius. I don't know how to pronounce it. Cyrus, I believe. Sirius. And they say that we, meaning human beings, or specifically their tribe, came from that star, right? And so, like, basically, like Orion's belt. Orion's belt. So, like, a lot of what they say is based on just basically being passed down. They didn't have a written language; they passed their language down verbally. Right. But basically, they said they came from a star. They pointed to an area, basically to a planet that's not listed and couldn't be seen. But they say they came from this location here, which we don't see anything there. It wasn't necessarily, when I say Cyrus or Sirius, Cyrus, that was the general location, but they pointed to a specific location where nothing could be seen. And just recently, NASA or whoever the fuck basically found that there is indeed a planet there. So it's some way out shit, dude.
No shit. What's the name of that tribe? Bonobo tribe? Not bonobo. Those are monkeys.
No, with a D, like a DOLGON.
DOLGON. Dogon. Dogon tribe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dogon.
Dogon tribe. Let me look them up.
Yeah, look them up, dude.
Dogon tribe. Yeah. That's interesting as hell. They say they're from the Orion's belt.
Yeah, and they pointed to a certain area where they didn't see any planets, you know, and they thought, man, what the fuck are these people talking about? And then just recently, over the past, I don't know, I want to say a year or two, they actually found that there is indeed a planet or a solar system where they pointed to.
No shit.
Yeah, dude, it's way out.
You know, I wouldn't doubt that one bit. I mean, life is stranger than fiction. And, you know, I've been watching Brian Foster. He has a YouTube channel too. You should check him out. But
all right.
He does a lot of study on megalithic structures.
Yeah.
And it's all, he showed videos all over the world, but he also does, he did some legit genetic testing on these skulls, on these elongated skulls from Peru.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
And there were two types. There were some that were, there's a like a natural line that occurs in a skull.
Yeah.
And some of them had that and some of them didn't. And based on the ones that did or didn't, I forget how it went, but there were people who would wrap their skull to look like that. And they found those skulls, but then they found ones that weren't wrapped, you know, a lot of them. So I think that back way when they were doing all that megalithic stuff, I think that there was a different species of human or some, you know, of some type on this earth.
I know. Yeah, dude. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, because their brains are so much bigger, you know?
I mean, that's basically like, what do they say? Imitation is the best form of flattery, I guess. So
right.
That's why the humans started wrapping their heads to make them, to force that shape, because they had seen these other beings with that shaped head. Yeah,
and the Egyptians, if you notice the hats and the shit that they wear and the way they fashion their hair.
Yeah, it's all long in the back.
Yeah, they try to make it look, they either were those people or they were trying to look like or both.
Yeah, their head probably was really inside those fucking things. Dude.
Right. Now, my question is, we found the skulls, but what happened to them? You know?
That's what I'm saying, dude. Man, this is a weird fucking planet, dude. This is a weird place, dude. And I think we've been lied to about 90% of whatever the fuck this shit is, dude.
Because
you know what, dude, I was watching these videos on these fucking gorillas on YouTube the other day, yesterday. So they had some silverback gorillas and some chimpanzees. And like, basically, I'm looking at them, right? And like their form, it is very similar to the human form in the sense they have two legs, they have two arms, they got a head, ears. We look like there seems to be some type of correlation between the two, right?
Right.
But then I started thinking, dude, we didn't evolve from these fucking animals, dude, because if we evolved from these primates, then why the fuck are there still primates? Right?
Yeah, that's pretty obvious. It becomes really obvious. You know what I mean?
It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah,
how could it be?
Man. Yeah, I know. Like, how could it be? I mean, if
we evolved from monkeys, then why are there still monkeys?
Okay, well then would you say if frogs evolved from fish, that they're still fish?
If frogs evolved from fish, are they still fish?
No. If frogs evolved from fish,
yeah,
and there are still fish while there are frogs.
Right.
So maybe one species of fish
evolved and the others remain the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible too. That's possible for sure.
You know?
That's true.
But what can't be denied is those skulls.
But still, back to the monkeys, dude. Look, back to the monkeys, dude. Look. If we evolved from monkeys, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's something else I was thinking about, dude. All right. So any type of creature that lives on Earth evolved to its habitat, right?
Right.
And it evolved so that it could live, or basically it's built so that it could survive whatever habitat it's in.
Right.
So if at one point we were like hairy fucking creatures because we needed hair to survive because of weather, right?
Yep. Why
the fuck would we evolve to have no hair, but then we have to put on clothes? It doesn't make sense.
Have you seen some of the? I live in a part of town where there's certain people that are hairy like monkeys. Their backs. You know what I'm saying? You've seen it before. That's genetic, man. That's because you got African genes. You know what I mean? I don't know what that is, man. I got my own theories about it. I mean, you know, I don't hate anybody, but I think that since Africans were the first, if you notice, you don't see a lot of hairy Africans with hairy backs. I haven't seen any.
I haven't seen any hairy Africans with no. You don't see hairy back. Like I've never seen a hairy backed African, dude.
Or afros all on their knuckles. You know, the afros on every knuckle.
Yeah.
All that hair in the hand and arm and chest and back and neck. You got people like that today.
Yeah,
so I think. Okay, so the Africans evolved further physically because they were first. They had more time.
All right.
You know, maybe they didn't. Maybe they came later. You know what I mean?
Maybe they came later, dude. I mean, you know, I never thought about that. That does make sense. There are people who still are hairy like monkeys, dude.
Yeah, right. Big time.
Because why? Because to me, it didn't make sense. Because I mean, I'm relatively hairless, and I'm thinking, why would I not have hair if it's going to be cold? You know what I mean? So it doesn't make sense.
That's because your skin is more evolved, man.
Right?
It works better. It doesn't need it.
These motherfuckers can run outside naked in a fucking snowstorm.
That's why. Adaptation.
Yeah, all right.
Run out butt naked in a snowstorm and jump in a pool on YouTube and ice.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like a fucking polar bear. Yeah. Crazy shit, dude.
Oh.
Just crazy, man. I don't know. Yeah, man. I can't call it on that.
But I was just thinking, that dude, like what I was saying about Brian Foster.
Yeah.
He and then he also shows on all that megalithic stonework, he shows something that's common on all those spots, which is all those locations that have megalithic stonework, which is it looks like it appears to be that the stone has been like some type of intense heat.
As if it were a nuclear bomb.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. That could be one of the causes, or a solar flare, or
well, that was one of the theories. That's a theory, dude. Okay, so you know what's the name of the book from India?
The Abhagati. I forget the name of it. Yeah.
Bangita, something.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it is in this story, in that story, dude, it talks about like a great battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of great battle where they're like in fucking these flying machines that they have. I forget the name of them, but they're flying around and they're doing great battle, like they don't use the word bombing, but if you read between the lines, they're saying they're bombing each other, right? And so basically they're saying that like when you could find like glass out in the desert or whatever, that stone that's been like under extreme heat.
Yeah.
It comes from the time of what was being talked about in that Indian book that said that battle actually took place because there's no other way to form those rocks or whatever it is without that amount of heat. And the only thing that could form that heat would be something equivalent to a nuclear bomb, dude.
The Gabda Gita.
Yeah.
You know what?
That book's a trip, dude. That book's a trip, dude.
Yeah, you know, I've heard about stuff like that too. They've even measured certain places way in the middle of nowhere that have real high radiation still coming from the earth. And it's like, my wild opinion is about that.
What?
I think that maybe in the future we figured out how to travel through time. Right?
Yeah.
And the first thing that a motherfucker would want to do is go back to the past. Right? To change shit. So maybe certain motherfuckers went back to the past and blew shit up so that a certain people it would stop their progress and then they could take over.
That's a theory. I've heard a similar theory, but it's not necessarily a similar theory, but it does touch on like time travel, right? Where they say, you know how we see these little like egghead and very extremely short aliens. Everyone draws like a little man with big eyes and no hair and just naked and real fucking gangly.
Yeah.
They say those are us.
Yeah, in the future.
Yeah, we evolved into those little ball creatures, dude.
Right.
They say that's us. And from being in space for so long, whatever, gravity, this, that, and the other, you don't need muscles because this shit is lighter. So that's why they're always so fucking this like very weak looking spaghetti leg people, right?
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
Just call them, spaghetti legs, dude.
I wish you could just know everything that the world knows, all the knowledge from every country, the deepest knowledge. I wish it was available on a public website for anybody to read or audiobook or videos and listen to. And it was legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But like what trips me out is if there were such a thing, people wouldn't read it. Because people, I mean, it seems as though, like, even with the limited amount, I mean, basic comparison to when we were young, all we had was a library. So the fucking internet is dope. Now you can look up a lot of shit, even though a lot of it's not true. But people aren't even searching for the fucking truth, dude. People aren't even concerned with anything. People, like, when I see my neighbors and they walk up and down the block, all they do is ask me, "Hey, man, you gonna watch the game?" I don't give a fuck about no fucking sports, some game, dude. I don't give a shit about you throwing a fucking ball or catching a ball. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I know. Somebody texted me that yesterday. You watching the game? And I was like, no, I'm watching Waking Life. You know what I mean? I'm not watching the game. Oh, speaking of that, you should check that movie out. I went ahead and paid for it. It's on Amazon. It's called Waking Life. WAKINGLIFE.
Oh, that's what you were talking about the other day.
You would love it.
Waking Life.
Yeah, I paid $3. It's worth it. It was 24-hour rental, but it's good, man. Waking Life is a good flick. It's just about conversations weaved into a little story of these guy, and the whole thing is like, it's like illustration. The whole thing is like not a cartoon, but it's like illustrated. It looks like they shot a real movie, but then took every frame and illustrated it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's pretty much what they did.
Like they painted it over to make it look like a cartoon.
Yeah, right.
But they look like real underneath.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen something like that.
Because you can tell by the sound.
Right. That it was like a real.
Yeah. And they're real people. And it's really interesting, man. It gets you thinking about stuff, you know. The guy, I'm not going to give the story away, but the main character in the beginning, and when in the opening scene, there's these kids. And do you remember those pieces of paper we used to fold like a flower that had 4 points, and you write stuff on the inside of it, and you open it one way, and then you open it the other way, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You'd be like click, click,
yeah,
click, click.
Right. You stick your fingers in there, like a little flower or whatever. So the kids were doing that, and then there was 2 kids, and they're like picking or whatever. And so the little other kid went through the sequence of pick 12, pick 6, and then he picked his number, and then you open it and read it. And when she read it, it said "Destiny is Dream." And then the next couple of scenes, the main character walks out of like a bus station or airport or some type of place, some travel place, and he goes to get a ride, or the person who was going to give him a ride didn't answer, so he walks out to the street. He says he's going to catch a cab or whatever. He was like, oh, whatever, I'm not tripping out, whatever. So when he walks outside, this car that looks like a boat, right? It looks like a little skipper boat, you know, like with the windshield and the rest of it is open.
Like a Chris Craft.
Yeah. So it pulls up on wheels. It has 4 wheels. And then he gets in. And then the guy who's driving it is like telling him some stuff. He's like, this is just